Liberal Fox News commentator Marie Harf got fed up and shut down a bad faith MAGA Fox News panel when they misrepresented and lied about the Biden-Harris administration's response to Hurricane Helene, which has been publicly celebrated by Republican governors. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to talk about in this video. We're going to start with this one here. Fox News has a program called Outnumbered, and they will occasionally have on a liberal guest. Marie Harf is a Fox News commentator, a liberal one. She is very similar to Jessica Tarlov in her approach. She's not quite the staple, like she's not on Fox News nearly as often, but she happened to be the liberal guest on Outnumbered. And after Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany and the others continued to misrepresent and politicize and lie about the Biden-Harris administration's response to Hurricane Helene, a very fed up Marie Harf kind of, started to cut some fact checks and reality checks to her MAGA co-hosts, and we have to talk about it. We're going to play this clip first.
This is a hero moment for the current administration. They can look at this and learn from the past when they were beating up on Republicans who actually were not making some of the best decisions they should after Hurricane Katrina. Like, we've learned this lesson already. Both political parties have. A hero moment would be, I'm calling up everything I got to get some airlifts in the air. I mean, it doesn't take much as a commander-in-chief to command your troops to go help your fellow Americans. And Marie, I don't want to single you out as like the only Democrat and all of that, because you've helped people in harm's way. You've been at the State Department. You know what it's like to be an American and need the help of the United States. You know.
And to be fair, that's what they're doing. I mean, there are 4,800.
I haven't seen any airlifts. I haven't seen anything that looks like, like our capability.
4,800 federal employees that they've already surged down before, have been there since, that are helping on the ground. The president ordered 1,000 National Guard. He brought up the National Guard from all different branches to do airlifts, to get food to people, to get help to people. They are surging resources. And when you hear from some of these Republican governors who say we do have what we need, we've heard from President Biden. And one of the challenges that we all know,
that they have what they need.
We know that it is
Which Republican governor has said that?
I mean, Ron DeSantis.
Even the Democrat.
Ron DeSantis has said very positive things, Harris. What I will say is getting a president and the security and the communications into places that have nothing is very, I mean, we hear from people on the ground.
Our crew got there.
Let me finish. No, but our crew doesn't have 25 Secret Service trucks that have to come with them.
No,
we hear
you can
from
drop
sheriffs
it from the air.
Harris, we hear from, but you guys are complaining that they haven't been down there yet. We hear from sheriffs and local officials on the ground who say, please don't come yet because we will have to divert emergency resources to protecting you.
I'm not sending people in. I'm asking from the air to utilize those boots on the ground.
Biden and Harris are going today and tomorrow. They're going to visit 4 states.
And what are they doing? Are they taking supplies with them?
Yes, and they're hearing from people on the ground about what else they need. But they have the federal government down there, Harris, right now helping. And to say they don't is, I'm telling you.
I didn't say they weren't there. I said it's not enough.
Yeah, so again, you hear the moving of the goalpost. First, it was, why aren't you down there? Why aren't they down there in person? Well, because local and state officials are saying don't go there because we'd have to divert resources. Well, our people got there. Fox News got there. Yeah, but you guys don't have nearly the security that's mandated by federal law, by the way. So it's not like Joe Biden can just say, you know what, just toss me a fresh set of keys. I'll drive there myself. The president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, and indeed even Donald Trump as a former president of the United States, divert local strapped resources when they go into these crisis zones without the coordination of local and state leaders. That's why local and state leaders like, just chill out for a minute and we will let you know when the time is appropriate for you to show up. Then it's like, okay, fine, maybe they don't need to show up, but well, we need to make sure that the resources are getting there. Well, Marie Harf is right, and we have the receipts. Republican governors in red states have publicly praised President Biden's administration, the Biden-Harris administration, for their cooperation and their communication. And they have said they have everything they need. And if they don't, they'll be in touch with the federal government. So to give you some examples, let's go to Brian Kemp, the Republican governor of Georgia.
So I just spoke. The president just called me yesterday afternoon. I missed him and called him right back. And he just said, hey, what do you need? And I told him, we got what we need. We'll work through the federal process. He offered that if there's other things we need, just to call him directly, which I appreciate that.
That seems to undercut the lies coming from these MAGA Republican snowflakes and hypocrites at Fox News. What about Governor McMaster of South Carolina?
Well, let me ask it this way. As of today, what has been the ongoing kind of federal assistance for South Carolina?
It's been superb. I finally was able to speak to the president yesterday afternoon after he missed me and I missed him leaving. He left a voicemail, I left a voicemail. So we finally connected yesterday afternoon. He said that whatever we need to let him know, and we're doing that. Also, Secretary Buttigieg called yesterday and said the same thing, and also Deanie Creswell for FEMA has also called. So, and a number of the governors have called.
So the federal government's response has been superb. He's heard from the President of the United States and the Secretary of Transportation. Republican governor of South Carolina. That seems to be undercutting what these MAGA Fox News hosts are saying. What about Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia?
I'm incredibly appreciative of the rapid response and the cooperation from the federal team at FEMA. I've been on the phone over the weekends with the senior FEMA administrator. The team has been deployed. We had our declaration of emergency processed in an expedited way over the weekend and was finalized yesterday.
Governor Youngkin seems pretty impressed and pretty pleased with the federal government's response. Ooh, what about Governor Ron DeSantis? Now, that's a guy who's hard to please. Republican governor of Florida, opponent of President Biden, outspoken, prominent Republican governor who tried to get the Republican nomination so he could defeat Joe Biden in the 2024 election. What has he said?
I was in the air when President Joe Biden called, so I wasn't able to talk to him yesterday. What I would say is Florida, we have it handled. We got approved for the individual assistance things we've wanted. We have what we need.
Sounds like Ron DeSantis has what he needs too. Sounds like he's getting the support he needs from the federal government. He says if there's any more that he needs, he'll go to them and make additional requests. Seems to undercut everything that Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany were suggesting. It's not the first time that a MAGA Fox News panel tried to peddle this nonsense and had to be ruthlessly fact-checked by a much more competent, much more honest Fox News liberal. Jessica Tarlov, as we did a video, had to do that to the 4 members of the 5. And I just want to play this clip again as a refresher because this went viral as well it should. When MAGA Republicans on Fox or elsewhere tell you that the Biden-Harris administration has been derelict or slow to provide federal assistance to anybody in Hurricane Helene, but even Republican states, Republican governors, Republican constituencies, they are lying or stupid or perhaps both. But I'll let Jessica Tarlov explain.
Jessica, how do you see it? Dramatically differently from how my colleagues see it. So just a couple notes. Trump closes strong in Georgia. He lost Georgia. So I guess if someone had found him 11,237 votes, it would have gone better. But he's a loser there.
I meant by campaign activity.
Oh, he shows up a lot and people see him and then they vote against him. Starlink, there are 40 satellites that are already going. Okay. In Maui, by the way, the $700 was the FEMA limit. So Donald Trump and his supporters are running the same old tired playbook that they did with Maui and they did with East Palestine. So not only was Joe Biden on top of this, he signed the disaster declarations even before the storms hit to make sure that there would be no delay in goods and services. Donald Trump's social media posts contain blatant lies, like Governor Kemp can't reach the president. Governor Kemp gave a press conference yesterday where he said, I just spoke to the president. He has promised me every single thing that I need. McMaster from South Carolina, also a conservative, getting everything that he wants, and then Roy Cooper as well. And there's only one president that we are talking about who actually has denied relief for one of these states. In 2017, Roy Cooper asked after Hurricane Matthew for a lot of money, and he got 1% of his ask. They denied 99% of what he was asking for after that hurricane came. There are 3,300 FEMA personnel there, 5,500 National Guardsmen from 11 states, and search and rescue from 19 states. That doesn't reduce the the devastation of this and how horrific it is. But to say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are out to lunch during this, or they're sitting on a beach reclining there, they are clearly giving them what they need. They will be showing up when it is appropriate. And it's different for Donald Trump, who is not in office. He's just a guy trying to be president again, to show up and throw some bounty at people, versus someone who's actually the commander in chief and doesn't want to distract from what's going on. And as Dana.
Excellent response. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough because lies are so easy to proliferate. Fact checkers, even the most diligent fact checkers, it's just one of those things where it's easier to tell a lie and it's easier for a lie to spread than it is a fact checker to stop the lie. This lie has spread. Very popular right-wing accounts have proliferated this lie. Community notes have hit them, but again, it's gone. It's traveled. It's traversed the information landscape, and then more responsible right-wing influencers like Ben Shapiro, if that's what some people want to say, have not corrected the record on this because they understand it's politically useful to piss people off at the current administration before an election. But let's be very clear. The Biden-Harris administration has been consistently more responsible when it comes to attending the needs of red states, red counties, and Republican governors than the Trump administration, who repeatedly threatened to withhold federal aid when he was president from blue cities and blue states that he thought were insufficiently loyal and too critical of him, that disagreed with him politically. He even threatened to do it a few weeks ago at a speech in California, that if he becomes president again, he may withhold wildfire and natural assistance from California unless they agree to certain political concessions for him. President Biden hasn't done that. President Biden didn't go to Ron DeSantis during the various hurricanes and natural disasters which have occurred against Florida since President Biden has been in office. He didn't go to DeSantis and say, hey, before I put you in touch with FEMA, I need you to chill on those comments that you're making about me. I need you to be nicer to me. He's never done that. He has been prompt, he has been consistent, and he has been consistently praised by Republican governors who hate his guts. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are objectively morally superior to Donald Trump and every MAGA Republican alive. That's the truth. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.